What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Let's get into Conor McGregor versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Real quick breakdown. This fight's going down January 18th. It's supposed to go down. Let's cross our fingers. Great fight. Let's get into it. All right, so remember, this breakdown is going to be off the cuff. I'm going to throw out some stats for these guys. Let's get right into it. So it was announced that Conor McGregor's comeback fight is going to be Donald Cowboy Cerrone. It was either between Cerrone or Justin Gaethje. Me personally, I would have liked Justin Gaethje, but I get Conor's reasoning and his team's reasoning for taking a Cerrone fight. It's kind of smart. He eases back into the sport. He's been gone for a little bit. You know, Cerrone doesn't really have the momentum right now. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Justin Gaethje is an absolute monster. The guy's on fire right now. Stylistically, it's a rough matchup for McGregor with the wrestling, the knockout power. The guy's super durable. So yes, totally get it. But again, I think I would have preferred Gaethje. I have my reasons. I'm not going to get into that right now. Let's continue with this matchup, Cerrone versus McGregor. Even though Cowboy's on a 2-fight losing streak, the guy is still super dangerous. He is a future Hall of Famer. He has the record for the most wins in the UFC, the most finishes if I'm not mistaken, and the most fight bonuses. He's not a guy to be taken lightly. And anybody that's followed Cerrone's career or that has followed the sport for any length of time knows that. So this is not a walk in the park for Conor at all. Donald Cowboy Cerrone has a great ground game. I feel it's kind of underrated. It is recognized, but I still think it's underrated. He's very crafty and dangerous on the ground. He's got sick triangle chokes. He can lock in an armbar in an instant. He's got great sweeps. Just really solid on the ground and technical. Standing up on the feet, he's dangerous as well. Cowboy, when he's on, he could pretty much beat anybody in the world. That's a fact. He tends to drop fights. He'll be on a run for a little bit, drop a couple, come back on another streak. That's Cowboy. But to touch on his stand-up a little bit, Cowboy's very diverse on the feet. He mixes punches and kicks well. On occasion, you will see him throw an elbow. Great knees, great clinch work. He has some pretty good setups, specifically with his legs and his kicks. He's durable. Contrary to what some people believe, yes, Cowboy is durable. We have seen him stopped a few times with body shots, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's a weakness of his. It might be. Touching on McGregor, Conor, I believe, also has an underrated ground game. He's a brown belt under John Kavanagh. I've said this before in other breakdowns. We've seen McGregor sweep Nate Diaz when he's fresh, who's a legit black belt. We've seen him stack Nate up. We've seen him control Max Holloway on the ground. Granted, this was a bit back. All in all, I think McGregor's ground game is pretty decent. It's not elite. He's not like super dangerous, but he's pretty proficient on the ground. Eddie Bravo has talked about his ground game and co-signed it. If the fight does hit the mat, I would say that Cerrone does have the edge in grappling, but Conor's kind of difficult to take down. He's got good footwork. He's pretty strong for his size. Touching on McGregor's stand-up, he has some of the best boxing in the sport, 100%. Don't be fooled by the Mayweather fight. I know a lot of people say, oh, Mayweather carried him for 10 rounds. Okay, Mayweather also didn't want to get cracked with that uppercut, and Conor did land some shots in that boxing match. He did get soundly defeated, no doubt about that. But that's boxing, that's not mixed martial arts. And in mixed martial arts, Conor has some great hands. Like I said, some of the best in the sport. And it's not just me saying this, his own peers are saying this. He's very precise, he has great timing. He also throws good combinations. He works the top, he works the body. That left hand he has is ridiculous. If he hits you with it, you're going to get wobbled or flatline. He does throw kicks, but I think they're more setups to his hands. Standing, I give the edge to McGregor. I think Cowboy tends to get hit a lot. He's kind of like a slow starter, and that's not the type of fighter you want to be with Conor McGregor because he comes at you from the jump. He's going to be looking to land that big shot from early. Cerrone he's got to be prepared to fight. He's got to be prepared to move. He has to have head movement. He can't just stand in front of Conor and plot forward and go strike for strike. He's going to be in trouble if he does that. So how do I think this fight's going to play out? I do think that McGregor's going to win. It's an interesting matchup at 170. I was kind of surprised that Conor took it at 170 because Cerrone he's most likely going to be the fairly bigger guy. Like I said, Donald kind of starts a little bit slow. So I think Conor's going to pick him apart early, like in the first round. I'm not saying he's going to stop him, but I think he's going to do enough damage in the first round that carrying over into the second round, it's kind of possible he might get a finish. Now, I wouldn't count Cerrone out in this fight at all. When the guy is zeroed in, all pistons firing, he's no joke. So it shouldn't be like this huge shock. A huge shock if he actually catches Conor with a big shot and drops him. We're talking about a guy who has the most wins in the UFC, the most finishes. But I think at this stage in Cerrone's career, he's slowing down a little bit. He's been in a lot of wars. The fact that he starts a little bit slow, the fact that Conor's so precise, I do give the edge to Conor in this fight. How I see Cerrone possibly winning this match, I think he's going to have to fight smart. He's going to have to fight hard and fast early. He's going to have to mix it up. He can't be afraid to go for takedowns. He needs to check his ego at the door. He needs to fight like a martial artist because Cerrone actually has some pretty decent wrestling as well. So the chink in the armor could be the cardio for McGregor. So if Cerrone could somehow exploit that, get him to grapple early, sap his energy a little bit, is going to play dividends a little bit later on, especially in the striking. With all that lactic acid built up in Conor's shoulders and his arms, it might slow him down. So that's Cerrone's best bet in this fight. Mix it up. Be prepared for a war. As soon as the bell sounds, don't start slow. He's going to be the longer, rangier fighter. Maybe utilize leg kicks, utilize kicks. Conor's path to victory, in my opinion, he's going to have the superior hands than Donald. So closing the distance, getting inside on Cerrone, bridging that gap, and basically putting hands on him because I think he's going to beat Donald to the punch with his fists. And like I said, if he lands that left straight, it's not going to be a good night for Cowboy. Of course, avoid grappling exchanges, use good footwork. Don't be too far on the outside. Don't be too far on the inside where Cerrone can clinch up and grab you or land a takedown. Conor's got to watch out. One thing to look out for is that Cerrone actually is really good off his back. So even in a scramble and Conor's in top position, it's going to be a little tricky for him because of those sweeps. Cowboy got some great sweeps. He can sweep Conor. He can wind up on top. He can slice to like full mount. And then Conor's going to be in a lot of trouble if Cerrone starts landing some ground and pound, gets him to, give up his back. And there comes the rear naked choke. But anyway, my pick for this fight is definitely Conor McGregor to win. I give this fight, it's kind of close for me actually. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Now again, that's depending on which Cowboy shows up. If it's like Cerrone on his A game, this fight's going to be like, 60-40 in McGregor's favor, in my opinion. I think it could be a crazy war. But ultimately, the precision of McGregor is going to get him the win. The timing, he has a little bit less mileage. So Conor McGregor, I'm thinking maybe by TKO stoppage. But it's a fight. Anything can happen. Cowboy's a game opponent. The guy's a legend. You guys let me know what you think about this matchup. Who do you think is going to win and why in the comment section? We'd love to read those opinions, guys. If you like the video, click subscribe. Like the video, share. Appreciate it as always. Thanks for watching, and until the next segment, take care and happy holidays.